Welcome to today's business school. This is a school for CEOs, business owners, those who have a strong passion to build great businesses. This class is for you, and we believe that the principles that will be communicated in this class today will help you to build effective team. The success of every business is directly connected to leadership. The success of every business is directly connected to leadership. The quality of your leadership will determine the outcome of your organization. The quality of your leadership, strong leadership, will lead to building a strong organization. Organizations can be strong except there is a strong leadership team. No matter how gifted you are as a person, you will always need people who can help in building the organization. No matter how gifted. Building a team begins with having a clarity of vision where you want your organization to be. And acknowledging that as the CEO of the corporation, you don't have all the answers. For that reason, you need a team. You need people who can connect with you to help you build the organization. Let's see Jesus as an example. Jesus had a great assignment. He decided to have 12 disciples, 12 apostles. He got a team because the success of every great organization is in team leadership. And for team leadership to be successful, we should be able to know that everyone has something to give. When you know that everyone has something to give, it helps you to create an atmosphere where others can contribute. Where others can contribute, where others could be able to assist you in pursuing the vision. But when you do things and don't have a team, you do everything by yourself, there is a limit to what you can achieve as a business owner. So building a leadership team will help to determine the longevity of the organization. So maybe when your business is starting, the tendency to manage it all by yourself, maybe you have one or two contacts, one or two things you're doing. But once the business begins to grow, you need a team, because there are certain matters that can only handle by your team members. So if you try to run all the responsibility, it will lead to deficiency, it will lead to frustration, and there'll be lack of productivity, because no one person was wired to do everything. So for that reason, we are talking about team leadership. Every great organization drives on this concept of team leadership. It reduces stress, it reduces frustration, it reduces limitation that could occur in any area of life. that could occur in any area of life, that could occur in any area of life. So if I want to truly succeed in my vision, I need a team. I need a team. So the question is right now, how do I raise a leadership team? That's the question. How do I raise a leadership team? Number one, you select your team members according to those that have interest in the vision. You select your team members according to those that have interest. You can bring someone into your organization, into your leadership, that is not interested in the progress of your organization. So interest is a key thing you have to look at for as a leader, as a business owner. This staff, this person that is working with me, is she interested in building this organization? Is she having the organization in her mind? So even among staff members, you have to look out for those who are interested in the progression of the organization. This is how you consider your team members. A person who is not interested in the organization is not qualified to be in the leadership, because the leadership of any organization is the strength in which the organization drives. The organization drives on the strength of leadership. The organization drives on the strength of leadership. So poor leadership could limit the possibility of doing more. Poor leadership could limit the possibility of doing more. So you can't truly do more in your vision by yourself. But when you have a team, you can do more. But we're talking about how to select your team members, how to get your team members. So the person must have interest in the development of the organization. The next thing that is required in selecting your team members is clarity of vision. Does this fellow understand the vision of the organization? Do they understand? Because there are people that can work in an establishment for more than 5 years. All they're looking for is money. They are not thinking about the organization. They are not thinking about the life of the organization. All they are thinking about is money. So we want people who have connected to the vision of the organization. So those who have connected to the vision of the organization, who understood the vision, can be part of the leadership team. So when we are selecting people, we're looking for those who understands the vision. Now, the next thing we're looking at, number 3, is we are considering people who are willing to communicate the vision to those on the downline of the organization, those who are willing to share information. Is this person willing to share information as other staff members could benefit from it and advance the organization? Or is someone who hoards information? So these are part of the things we look out for in selecting our team in a growing business, in building a business. Is this person, are they willing to share the information? Are they willing to help more people in the organization receive more. Now, the next thing we look at in selecting team members is how sensitive is this person? Sensitivity. How sensitive is this person to the need of the organization? Because organizations have needs. Does this fellow is she sensitive to the need of the organization? Or she's just sensitive to only her personal needs? There are people who are just thinking about their personal need, what I can have, but we're looking for people who are sensitive to the need of the organization. Those who are sensitive to the need of the organization will help in building the leadership of the organization. Those who are sensitive to the need of the organization. So we don't just bring people into the leadership team. We look out for people who are sensitive to the vision. Because those who are sensitive to the vision are willing to contribute to the advancement of the vision. Those who are sensitive to the need of the organization. Because some organizations can only do well when the right people are in leadership. Now, being sensitive to the need of the organization begins with having emotional connection with the organization. Why did I talk about emotional connection with the organization? Because there are people who work in certain organizations, they don't love the organization. They don't like the place. They are just keeping the job because they just have to keep the job, but they don't love the organization. They don't like the place. If they have any option, they go. They are just there for being there. So if we truly want to have team members, we have to look out for people who are interested in the growth of the organization. Those are the people that should form our leadership. Those who are interested in the organization are those who will determine the longevity of the organization. So while we select team members, we are considering those who are emotionally tied to the organization. When people come to a business place or a company, if they are not emotionally tied to the business or to the organization, they are not yet staff. They may be called staff, but emotionally, they are not connected to the organization. And people who are not connected to an organization emotionally, there is going to be deficiency in their performance. There will be deficiency. This is why most organizations try to pay people more. One of the reasons why they try to pay people more is to help them stay connected emotionally. Because when people are emotionally connected to something, it is difficult for them to break away from it. So they give their support, they give their love, they give their sacrifice. So in selecting team members, we look out for people who are emotionally connected to the organization. Because those who are emotionally connected to the organization will help in building the organization. If they are not emotionally connected to the organization, it doesn't matter what you do, they will keep affecting the progression of the. You're welcome to CEO Today. We continue our teaching on building a strong leadership team. If your organization is going to rise from one point to the other, you should be able to have a strong leadership team. And from our previous sharing class, we have shared some key things we need to look at in building a strong leadership team. A good team will lead to high performance. If you truly want to see a high performance in your organization, a good team leads to a high performance. Now, I've come to realize that those who build successful businesses don't try to do everything. They look out for their strengths, then they ask others to help out in their weakness. They look out for their strengths, then they ask others to help out in their weakness. Now, if I try to do my weakness, maybe I'm not very good with accounting or with business law, I'm going to have deficiency. So a wise business leader focus on his strengths and give others opportunity to utilize his weakness. That's how you know a great leader. That's how you know a great leader. Because a strong team will empower you to multiply productivity. A strong team empowers the organization to multiply productivity. I can't truly multiply productivity if I keep trying to perfect my weakness as a business owner. So I should be proactive in my decisions and in my thinking, knowing that the future of our organization is directly connected to our team members. Now, one of the things you have to look out for when you're selecting team members is courage. You look out for someone who is courageous, someone who is willing to take the adventure. Because courage is a basic ingredient when it comes to effective leadership. A person who is not courageous won't be able to step out. So they will live within the boundary of frustration, limitation, and they won't be able to go forward with their dreams. They won't be able to go forward with their dreams. So we are looking for courageous persons, and courage comes from understanding. Understanding is the very foundation in which courage is built, and understanding is a product of knowledge. Understanding is a product of knowledge because you need knowledge to gain understanding. You can't truly gain understanding if there is no knowledge. So knowledge leads to understanding. So for we to have someone who is courageous, he or she must be someone who has gained understanding of what is going on in the organization and where the organization is going. You see, that is the kind of thinking that today's CEOs are looking for. People with courage, people who are willing, if they are into sales, and maybe this product was not selling for a very long while, but they made the decision and said, we are going to take this product to the next level. We are going to take this product to the next level to ensure that men and women are able to buy this product. It takes courage to get involved in high level of sales. It takes courage because if we are not courageous, we won't be able to break the limits. In Joshua chapter 1 verse 6, one of the instructions that God gave to Joshua, he said, be strong and be very courageous. This is strategic in your success. Be strong and be very courageous. How important is being strong and being courageous? Because when you're strong and courageous, you succeed. When you're strong and courageous, you win. When you're strong and courageous. So a true business leader is always thinking about someone who is courageous, who is willing to take the lead, who is willing to initiate leadership. So when you're selecting people into your leadership team, courage is very important. The next thing you have to look at for is humility. There are a lot of skillful people who are not humble. Make sure that you don't put someone in your team because they are just skillful. You have to consider how humble they are, because humility leads to healthy communication. You can't have healthy communication with a person except they are humble. So someone can be skillful, but if he or she is not humble, don't put them in your leadership team. Because they could spread that among your staff members, they could spread that among your clients, among your customers. So you should be wise that those who are qualified to work in your leadership team are humble people. Because humility is very strategic when it comes to character, personality. When you're looking at for someone's personality, for true personality, you can use for anything, please be considering humility. A lot of CEOs consider skill, but it's good to have the right skill for people, but their attitude could ruin what their skill builded. Some people built something very well, they built it very well, but their attitude ruined everything. So we can't afford to build so much and someone's attitude is climbing down on the life of the organization. So humility is a trademark we must look out for in qualified people, skillful people, to see how humble they are. Because when people are humble, it's easy to network with them. You can't truly put an arrogant man in your leadership and expect your leadership to be okay. Yes. So humility is important. The next thing you have to look out for is the willingness to receive correction. How willing is this person to take instruction and correction? Because instruction and correction will keep coming. Instruction will keep coming. The boss will give an instruction. The CEO will give an instruction. So you don't want to give an instruction and someone is flattening your instruction. And he's telling the other staff, I don't believe in that, I can't do that. And they are playing down on the life of the organization. They're playing down on the life of the organization. So it's important we look out for someone who is willing to receive instruction and correction and put them in the team. Because someone who is willing to receive instruction and correction is willing to work, is willing to help out. Because if he gets the instruction or gets the correction, he moves in the direction of the vision. People can only move in the direction of the vision when they respond to instruction and correction. This is how you make it happen. Instruction and correction are very important when it comes to building a strong leadership. So in your leadership, we are considering those who are willing to take instruction. Someone can be very gifted. Let's take, for instance, in ministry. Someone can preach very well. Doesn't mean they should be in leadership. Because he can preach very well, but at the same time he's very arrogant, he's very saucy, he's proud, he's not willing to listen to anyone. Such person is not qualified for leadership or even be given the platform. Such people are the people that cause trouble in the organization and cause trouble around. So you shouldn't bring them into leadership when you don't trust their attitude. Don't bring people into your leadership that you don't trust their attitude. So it's important that when we select people into a leadership team, we should look out for humility. We should look out for someone who is willing to accept instruction, someone who is willing to do things right. And we have to look out for accountability. Is this person accountable? When you are trying to select people into your leadership team, you have to look out for accountable people, those who are accountable to the organization. Because a person who is not accountable is not qualified to bring forth leadership. Because leadership is all about accountability. So someone who is not accountable can truly be active in leadership. You need accountable people. You need people who are accountable, willing to serve, willing to labor, willing to do things right. Accountability. Because with accountability, we should be able to measure performance. I said with accountability, we should be able to do what? To measure performance. If you truly want to measure performance, you have to consider accountability before you place a person in a leadership position. Because it is required that in leadership that accountability will play a vital role. Very strategic. When it comes to building a business, accountability is key. Now, in building a strong leadership team, there has to be consistent training. There has to be consistent training because if you don't train people, share things with them, they won't know what is expected of them. As a CEO of a corporation, training is vital. You should have a time with your staff members, a time you talk with them, you share the vision with them, a time you discuss with them to ensure they are able to connect with the vision of the organization. Because through training, we'll have a opportunity to receive questions, and we're able to provide answers. If there are no questions, we can provide answers. If there are no questions. So for the organization to truly make progress, as a CEO, you should be thinking about training sections, how to equip people. Because the more you equip people, the more they will be accountable to you, the more they are willing to show you their performance. But if there are no training taking place in the organization, that simply means you won't be able to assess performance. Let's take, for instance, that your organization is into sales of water. That's what you do. Illustration. Now, and we have competition, which is always there in business. You're not the only one producing water. There are many water companies. How do we sell more than every other person? Now, motivation comes in, but motivation comes through communication. Motivation comes through communication. Because it will take motivation to have a high level of sales. Maybe we said, this water, 10 bottles of this water, if you're able to sell 10, you're going to take 10% of the money you sold. That is not part of your salary at the end of the 2 weeks. You're going to take 10%. Now that is a huge motivation. Then sales members, those who are sales staff, now begin to think strategies in which they are going to sell, because they want to make their money and they also want to have their salary. You see, motivation is building, and poor motivation can kill an organization. Poor motivation can kill the organization, could kill sales. So what happened, because you have competitors here and there, those who want to sell their water also, your salespeople will be more effective with good motivation. Your salespeople will be more effective with good communication. Your salespeople. And this is how you make progress. This is how you succeed. This is how you reign. This is how you become more strategic. This is how you become more strategic. So, training. You talk to the people. Be welcoming as a leader. Don't try to boss the people. Yes, you're the boss, but try to make your work office or your company a place that is home for people. That even when you said the job is closing by 4 p.m., staffs are still saying we want to stay because it's homely for them. That's one of the things that makes some organizations grow more, do more. I'm going to teach on that, how you can turn your company into a home. Yes. A home is a place people want to always relax. So people can relax in that company because of the strategies that are involved in building the organization and in the expression of the products that are going forth from here to there. So you're thinking the strategy. Okay. Well, great CEOs also consider those who are strategic in thinking, those who think, those who can brainstorm in bringing them into their team. You need someone who is thinking, someone who is creative, someone who is creative. You need such a person. Someone who could contribute to the vision of the organization. You need someone who is creative. Someone who could think the next 5 years, the next 10 years. What happens to our product? What happens to our business in the next 15 years, in the next 20 years? So if we're bringing people into our leadership, we must be considering those who are creative. Those who are very creative, because creativity can determine the longevity of an organization. Creativity can determine the longevity of an organization. So if the organization is going to do well, creativity is important. So we need creative people to be in the leadership team. Those who can model, those who can create designs, those who can think, how can we be up there? How can we rise? How can we go up? How can we do this? So you need creative people to be in your team. The more creative people you have, the tendency of having more products and creating more service sections or departments in your organization is there, because these guys are creative. So they're bringing forth instruction, they're bringing forth concept, they're bringing forth new imagination, and business survives on creativity. Business survives on creativity. An organization that is not creative will soon be out of business, because competition will swallow it up. When you talk about competition, you're talking about people coming with their product, with their new brand, with their creation, with their innovation. So they are pumping it into the market, and you have the same product, but they are creating new concepts, better ways. They are giving this discount, they are giving that discount. They are in business to succeed. So when the competition is high, you need creative people in your human resources. You need creative people in sales. You need creative people in your procurement, in every section of the organization, to ensure that this business continue to succeed. So creativity is very strategic. Very strategic in building an organization. Now, I have this, scripture in Genesis chapter 11. These guys were building a Tower of Babel in Genesis 11. Now, when I read it from the NLT translation, it said that they have what is called a political unity. They have a political unity. They have a political unity. There was communication. And the next thing I want us to look at is, when you are bringing people into your team, look out for those who have the ability to communicate and to inspire. Communicate, inspire. Not just communicate. Some people just communicate, but they don't inspire. So we need people that can communicate, and at the same time, they have the ability to inspire. Because a person who has the ability to inspire will take the lead in leadership. The ability to inspire and communicate. So we consider all of those factors, because if he can communicate, he can inspire people. So why are we bringing him into our leadership team? It's not going to be a help to us. So we may keep him in security. So we need people who could think in the leadership. So if you're a CEO or you work for an organization, I encourage you to improve yourself, as you can be an asset to the organization, as you can be an inspiration to that organization. A lot of people are in business or they work for an organization, but they're not contributing much, even when the opportunity is given to them. Because your level of exposure will determine your degree of influence. Your level of exposure will also determine your degree of contribution, what you can be able to contribute to people. Is directly related to your level of exposure. So there is a tendency to work on yourself, to develop your mental capacity. Developing your mental capacity is required when it comes to business leadership. Developing yourself. Very important. You can't truly do much with the gift of life if you don't develop yourself. Developing yourself is an ongoing process. It doesn't come to an end. You keep reading, you keep studying, you keep learning, and you keep moving. You keep creating. You were created to create. You are created to create. Thank you. You are created to create. You are created to create. You are created to create. So there should be innovation coming from you. There should be an inspiration coming from you. There should be a flow of wisdom coming from you, helping people, helping the organization to rise from one dimension to the other. If the organization has given you an opportunity to contribute, then you have to do it excellently. You have to do it excellently. Because our God is an excellent God. Our God is an excellent God. Several years ago, he told me, if you want to represent me, make sure you represent me well. Our God is an excellent God. Our God is an intelligent God. He is all-knowing God. So if you have relationship with Jesus, you can build a good business. He can tell you what to do. So today we're talking about building a strong leadership team, because your leadership team will determine the extent in which your business can move. The leadership team will determine the extent in which your organization can go to. So don't try to do everything by yourself. Ensure you have people in your team helping you to build. Thank you so much. This is the much I can take for CEO today. And we want to say a very big thank you to everyone listening to this class. This is a business school. It's an empowerment business school. I believe that the principles I've communicated to you has the potential to transform, inspire, and motivate you to be able to do the things you should be doing for your organization while you're building your team leadership. And we encourage you to enjoy our YouTube channel. It's Faithman Teaching on YouTube. And you can subscribe to that channel because every of my teaching will be available. And thank you very much. It's a flesh and bones cannot reveal this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I appreciate all those who are appreciating what we're doing. Thank you very much. It's always interesting being here to communicate and share with you. Thank you very much. King, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I appreciate all those who consistently partner with me as I consistently take this message to people all over the world. It's always a joy and a pleasure to bring forth these instructions and wisdom from God. God has been the source of this inspiration and wisdom. So I just come, then he starts saying it to you guys. Thank you very much. So we encourage you to partner with us. Partnership helps me to be able to keep doing my subscription and keep reaching more people daily around the world. All these classes are free for people. We're not really charging people to pay us money. We know people should pay for it, but we're not really charging. So we're encouraging people to partner with us. So think of what you can do today and say, wow, if I've attended a business school, how much will I pay for this? So and you could use your PayPal. And so, Apostle, I just want to partner with the business school. We are looking for people that will partner with the business school. We are looking for people that will partner with it as it will be on the air as long as God wants it to be on the air, helping people. So we are looking for those that will say, okay, I want to be partnering with the business school to ensure that more of the classes and lectures keep coming forth. So today you can sign up as a partner. You can sign up to help us to ensure that the business school keep running. We're doing it for free. We're not taking any charge, but we need people to support it to ensure it goes, keep coming forth. Because every lecture will pay to stream every lecture. Okay, so you can do it through your PayPal. On PayPal is Faithman Teaching at gmail.com. PayPal is Faithman Teaching at gmail.com. And you can also partner with us through MoneyGram. If you want to do MoneyGram, you can partner with us through MoneyGram, and you can connect with us on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Faithman Ogboada. Faithman Ogboada. I'm a pastor of a local church in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, West Africa. This will be my 17th year of pastoring. And it's a joy when the Lord spoke to me to pastoring the nations, teaching people all over the world. So I have to come out from the mentality of just my local church and my people and come by the highway to support. Yes, Faithman Teaching at gmail.com for PayPal. Yes, thank you very much. So that is what it takes. So go there today and send a love gift as we can consistently keep changing life. Thank you for watching me. It's always a privilege to be connected with you. It's always a pleasure to teach you. Thank you. Please do enjoy your day. Until my next broadcast shows up, don't forget, there is greatness in you. Thank you for watching.